the settlers came here, they obviously had to import all the animals, the living stock, and later, in the middle of the 17th century, we wanted to see if the reindeers could thrive in Iceland. So we imported reindeers from Norway, and first we tried to have them out on the island I pointed out to you earlier, where it has 7 mountains to hike up on. But no, the reindeers, they didn't like it, they died. And then we tried out here in the south, you know, many fields for the reindeers. No, they didn't like it, they died. And then we said, okay, let's try in the northeast. Bingo, they like it. And we have about 7,000 wild reindeers up in the northeastern part of the island. And reindeers, they can withstand minus 40 Celsius. Nice fur they have there. So I don't know, we have to ask Santa Claus if his reindeers are okay on the North Pole. But I guess so, since the reindeers seems to carry Santa all over the world. Or maybe they have some special Christmas superpower. I don't know, but it's interesting to contemplate. Now up here on the left you can see a school and a swimming pool with a water slide. Yeah. This is actually a school for the children who live out on the countryside. So they take a school bus to this school here and they learn to swim and they can play football and other things in the play yard of the school. I had a question about hot springs, if we could dip into some hot springs on the way. Well, obviously we will go to the geyser sites or geyser, but did you know geyser is an Icelandic word for a hot spring that is gushing up? So today you could also say, I have seen geyser. Geyser. All the hot springs at the geyser site are dangerously hot. They are around 100 degrees warm. So I would not dip my toe into those, honestly. But however, we have about 17 pools in Reykjavik, and I highly recommend going into those. They have also jacuzzis, and some of them have even infrared sauna. You do need an extra towel for that sort of dwelling. Some of them have steam baths. You don't need any towel in those. They are super wet and moisty. And some of them have even a sauna as well. So if you are a water person, I highly recommend visit the swimming pools. I'm not sure if they are open tomorrow, but I can Google it for you. But that's a nice way also, if you are traveling overseas and you want to get rid of your jet lag, there is nothing more healing than dipping your body into a warm swimming pool, stay there for an hour. You know, some of the hot tubs are 38, 40, 42 degrees, and your jet lag is just about gone after a nice dip in the pools. Just a nice tip from a local person in case you are now going further to Europe or to America, and if you have a stopover on your way back to whatever destination, then a stop in a swimming pool is highly recommended. And usually we the locals, we have a habit of going to either an ice cream store, and it doesn't matter if it rains outside, if it's snowing, if it's sunny. We like to have ice cream after our swim, or we go for a hot dog stand and we have a hot dog. If you really want to get the latest scoop, in either some of the villages or in Reykjavik, I highly recommend you go between 6:30 and 8:30 a.m. in the morning, or you go in the afternoon between 4 and 6, and then a lot of the locals are sitting in the hot tubs and they are gossiping about, you know, who's dating who's divorcing, who's pregnant, who's doing a solo album, you know, what's going on with the politicians and stuff like that. Yeah. Also in the afternoon, a lot of Icelandic families bring their children to the pools to sort of release their energy, and then the kids are super relaxed at dinner time and are happy to go to bed around 8 or 9 o'clock p.m. And even sometimes in wintertime, if it's not too frosty, those lights are also open in wintertime. Do you have any questions about the swimming pools? Okay.
去看那个什么湖啊？
什么湖？
那个什么湖来着？
天鹅湖啊。这个
叫什么湖啊？
天井洲。
If you look now on the right-hand side, maybe with all the snow, you might be able to see there is a steeple there. It's a church. Can you see it with a black-colored roof? It's coming now to us at 3 o'clock, right-hand side. This church and this site, actually this whole area here is quite interesting because the first Christian bishop in Iceland had sort of a base there, and that was in the year 1056. And at that point there were around 300 people living in this area. So the settlers, they were dwelling a lot in this area. This countryside is sort of quite fruitful in summertime, and you need to know that when the settlers came here, I mean most of them obviously came from Norway, because in Norway everything was already sort of, people have taken a land there, and the chieftains wanted to have their own space, like, that's my land, that's my home, I have such a big land, you need the land, yeah, you need to sublet the space for me and pay me rent. So the younger chieftains, they didn't want to sublet, they wanted to have their own piece of land. And they started to go out and about sailing. There were a lot of excursions made by the Vikings. They went to Russia, and they went all the way to North America. And some of them stumbled around this island and saw the island was empty, like, woohoo, we found a new land, let's move here. And so a lot of people moved to this island in the late 8th century. And as you know, the farmers were pretty much just ordinary farmers, and we had a warmer climate here until the 11th century. At that point here in the North Hemisphers, we started to suffer a semi-ice age, and unfortunately we are sort of still in that period. Therefore it is a bit colder here compared to other countries in Europe. And if you go a little bit also, I'm going to weave in a little bit of geology. So we go way back, people. We go 70 million years back in time now. And at that point, a so-called magma plume was hovering underneath Greenland. And then with millions of years, that with the tectonic plates, the North American plate and the Eurasian plate, it started to drift a bit southeast, and then only 25 million years ago, boom, a land started to rise out of the sea, and so the first landmark of this island took place up in the West Fjords and in the northeastern part of the island. So this area here is roughly something between 8 to 10 million years old. If we compare that to Reykjanes Peninsula, that is quite active at the moment, the area where you flew in to Keflavik Airport. The maximum age there from Keflavik area all the way including Reykjavik has a maximum age of 3 million years only. So obviously that is not as fruitful as in this area here. And people were sort of living more out on the countryside until the late 17th century. Then people started to move towards the coastline because we started to have better and bigger ships. So it became our new industry. And just so you know, this was sort of the place, this area here where we are now, and close to the church I pointed out earlier. But around 1750 people started to move around, and a lot of people moved towards Reykjavik area. And in 1786 Reykjavik was announced and became the capital city of Iceland. So not long ago. And the fishing industry started to bloom, and that was our main income for many, many years until 2010. Then all of a sudden, when we had that volcano erupting, blocking all air traffic, people all of a sudden were like, oh my God, I need to see this island. Things are happening there. There are mountains erupting. Oh, we gotta see this. So thank you so much for paying us a visit. It means the world to us that you like to visit our country. And today, tourism is ranking the first seat in our income. Number 2 is the fishing industry, and number 3 is the aluminum. We sort of import aluminum, and then we smelt it here, and then we export it. Beautiful winter sun. We have now a proper daylight. The day has come, people. Let's enjoy it while it's here.
Would you live in that room?
1 o'clock, if you can see up front, is a steam coming up. It's a borehole, and in this area, I'm not sure if you can see it, there are a lot of greenhouses here, illuminated with yellow lights, especially on the right hand side. So when you come out of the roundabout in front of us, you might see some parts of the greenhouses.
If dinner is at 6.
Oh my God, there are actually a few trees here, but in between the trees on the right hand side there are greenhouses. If you look closely with your X-ray eyes, you can see some yellow light. So the farmer in this area here is focusing mainly on making tomatoes, piccolo tomatoes, but also strawberries. This farmer is creating 40% of all piccolo tomatoes on the island. Here is the rescue team selling firework. Yeah, blue lights, rescue team. Bless them, they do a lot of good job. All volunteer work. So what does it mean? 40% of all production in greenhouses of piccolo tomatoes. Let's dig into that. I think some people from France today. Guess what? We import the tomato seeds from France. We import the soil from Finland. We import bumblebee from Netherlands. We even import some flies from Netherlands. So everything is very eco-friendly. We are not using any pesticides in this greenhouse, and it sort of starts with, you know, a nursery where we bring the tomato plants to life, and then the plant can thrive and bloom and produce tomatoes for about 9 months, and in those 9 months the plant is growing something like 27 feet or 9 meters. It's like, you know, a baby in a womb, 9 months, and then it sort of has done its blooming time, and it's time to swap the plants. So there can be 5 plants sharing one pot, and then the bumblebees, they come in boxes from Netherlands, and they work a very wonderful, beautiful work, you know, sort of moving the pollens between the plants, only leaving one footprint at each plant. And then after 3 weeks, the queen of the bee is
还在走。
only delivering males, and
键盘侠
and when they are bored, like, oh my god, I'm in Iceland, what am I doing here? Yeah, I feel like I don't want to work.
哦，就是那个
And then you have to close
就是那个节奏
sort of that base and bring in a new box. So it's a circle of life and circle of production. And it's very high tech, so the farmer could even be in Bahamas and he can just flick through his phone in an app and see what's the moisture, what's the temperature in my greenhouse, what is the light like now, and he can just press a button in his phone and say, water my plants please,
这就是两个人的乐
and then the plants are being watered. And they are, yeah, as I say, they can pick 2 tons of tomatoes each day, and it's being delivered to supermarkets within 24 hours. So if you fancy and if you like a taste of piccolo tomatoes, you are probably purchasing a very fresh tomatoes in the supermarkets. Just a nice knowledge to know if you like tomatoes.
陈哥喜欢唱歌，
这样子的。
女的啊，我现在他妈网上招聘一个，我现在就是说，哎，2个人，目前有鼓手和吉他手，现在还
鼓手
缺一个。
还不熟练，但是老还
不是，别说不熟，鼓手连他妈鼓都没碰过，鼓手不熟练妈的，
我这有个鼓手，
鼓手连鼓都没摸过
我。这有个鼓都没摸过的鼓手。
可以先把你暂且称为键盘手，你摸过键盘？
Okay, I was googling for you. Looks like the swimming pool is going to be open tomorrow in many of the regular swimming pools between 12 to 5 p.m. on New Year's Day. After that, it's going to be an ordinary opening from 2nd of January. Most of them are open from 6:30 a.m. until 10 p.m. Super nice. Okay, good to know.
好像是讲的福州话，
长得就像福建，
是吧？
长得就像福建。
为什么你会对福建有一个长相的定义？
拜过妈祖的人长得就是不一样。
拜过妈祖的人，我看看你，我看拜过妈祖的人，啊，你好像设置了不能看。 Kemushoa Yeni Masa。
日语怎么翻译？
亲戚该。
一起吗？不是一起。不是很奇怪的一个说法，叫
最大几开。
最大几开。
你不让我看你是坏蛋，拍你。
我是被妈祖诅咒的。
拜完妈祖就飞了是吧？你把妈祖的庙给养了。
我给妈祖给检查一下，我现在被妈祖诅咒，好吧？
坏蛋。
小时候给妈祖送了520的礼物。给妈祖过圣诞，给她戴了圣诞帽子。
给妈祖过圣诞，你是懂过圣诞的。你给妈
祖穿上女菩萨服。我这太高了。
所以妈祖诅咒是没有道理的。
啊，要是太阳在这儿的话就好看了。
在线找一个唱歌的啊！在线找唱歌的。
那个我找 BBQ 啊。
你不是女的吗？
哦。
你要阉了她，阉了她再回去。找队长。
我操，找队长。
你跟队长还聊啊？
没聊。
你跟女警还聊？
没聊。
你跟
我跟唯一的异性聊，没有了，太难过了。
二次元，是真的二次元啊！第一次没过，第二次二次元。
我靠，好看呢！还有5公里就到 Games， 然后看到雾了，我已经看到 Steam 和 Epic 了。
这水好喝吗？
好的，
120。
那个乐事的好。
那都是没味道啊。冰岛的就算是自来水也比冰红豆丝好。
对，我第3嘴不血嘛，塞嘴里都好。
不介意怎么干啊？
对 Steam 在前面，还有没有50%以下？
我靠！虽然旁边有厕所，但我不是很想上。我想去上正经的厕所。
again, you can see a lot of steam here on the left-hand side. This is Geysir area, but we are just passing through now because we are going to our next location, Gullfoss, but then we will come here. On the right-hand side, you can see a brown house. This is a restaurant and sort of a service area. So here we will also have lunch. But we drive about 10 more minutes and we're gonna visit the Golden Waterfall. If you keep your eyes on the left hand side, here is where we have two hot springs here. One of them is apparently dormant, that is Geysir. But there is another one here which is the fourth largest one in the world, called Strokkur, or with English sort of pronunciation. Oh, you mean Strokkur. Number one in the world, the largest hot spring in the world, is located in America, called Steamboat. No, that is number 3. Number 2 is Geysir. Number 3 is the Old Faithful. And number 4 is Strokkur. And then there is number 5 in New Zealand. Is anyone from New Zealand today? Because I can't remember the name of that one. It's so far away. It's on the opposite side of Iceland. Yeah, so you definitely get to see Strokkur gushing up today. It has a tendency of gushing up every 5 to 10 minutes, and sometimes it varies anything from 10 feet, sometimes up to 90 feet, or anything from 5 up to 30, 40 meters, depending on the strength of the gush. So it is, yeah, popping up quite frequently. So the waterfall we will look at has been around since the last ice age. So it's approximately 10,000 years old, and it's quite fascinating to see how much the water flow has been carving out of the land there. The gorge down below the waterfall is approximately 2.5 kilometers long, and the height of the waterfall is actually split into 2 waterfalls. So altogether it's about 96 feet or 32 meters. The upper cascade is around 30 feet and the lower one 66. It is partially frozen today, but again, if you come in summertime, you will see the flow is quite powerful. So in summer and of course in autumn time, that's the highest speed of it, and it is about 40,000 cubic liters per second, the speed of the water, the power of the water. That's quite extreme. So of course, somewhere in the 1940s, there were some people who wanted to dam the waterfall and make power lines out of it and create electricity for the countryside. But there was this one lady, and we can thank her. Her name was Sigríður Tómasdóttir. Her nickname would be Sigga. She protested and she walked from her home, which is very close by, all the way to Reykjavik on foot. If you Google that on Google Map, the Google Map will say by walking from Gullfoss to Reykjavik takes about 22 hours in one go. But however, in 1940, most people were wearing skin shoes, hardly anyone had hiking boots, so it must have been quite a walk for the lady. But she came marching into the Parliament building and said, "Not over my dead body are you gonna dam the waterfall." And there was a young lawyer who took her sides, and together, within 2 years, they managed to make sure that no one was gonna dam the waterfall. And a few years later, in 1975, it was official. The waterfall is reserved and we are not allowed to fondle at all with it. So thanks to Sika, she was a wonderful natural sort of protector and activist, and she made all this happen. Amazing lady, very strong spirit, very strong-minded lady. And of course we honor her, and there is a monument of her at the lower platform on the site, and you can see a silhouette metal plate of her face. And when you have a good look at her, you see her thick eyebrows, and somehow her facial expression is saying, "Do not mess with me." Guess we need strong-minded people like her to really change the world for the better. Her home was here out on the right-hand side. There are a few farms here, and the one furthest away is where Sigga lived. And out here in front of us we start to see, you know, the gorge of the river. And oh my goodness, oh, I could feel that. I think someone was looking for batteries. There might be batteries for sale in the store here. The site has few viewpoints. You do what you feel like. Unfortunately, because it is frozen and very icy, we cannot walk on the lower platform towards very close to the waterfall. But there are many angles where you can walk and enjoy. So you can sort of do it at your own pace and ease, and whatever you feel comfortable with. But I highly recommend, if you are in the mood, to take the stairs and walk down and have there's a different angle of the waterfall there, and also a few viewpoints on the upper one. Up front here you can see mountains and snow, and this is actually where the ice cap of Langjökull is located. Where is it? It is somewhere from 10 o'clock all the way to 12 o'clock from where the bus is sort of heading now. So behind those bumpy mountains on the left-hand side, 11 o'clock. Remember our bus, there are many buses here. Our bus is called Me Travel, Me Travel, Me Travel. White bus, white bus. Yeah? So what's the name of our bus? Me Travel. Yeah, exactly. Me Travel, me. Yep, perfect. Because the buses are on the sides might be gone when we come back to the bus. Please be back to the bus at 1:40, yeah? Yes? Good. Let's go.